Well, before we begin, I wanted to bring to light a couple of things. Number one, look at the runtime of this video. I suffered. This PC made me suffer. Ah, I must have 5 or 6 hours of footage that I've had to throw away because of this thing. But regardless, it is what it is. We are currently working. So at the very least, I do have a successful video to share with all of you. The second thing is I released a Halloween special. That's also my 1,000 subscriber special. And unfortunately, I thought that it would be a good idea to release it on Halloween. You know, got a little spooky PC going. Unfortunately, that was actually a bad idea. Every single recent video that I've released has gotten multiple thousands of views. As of the recording of this video, my Halloween special, which I put a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of money into, 200 views. So I would really appreciate it if you guys could at least go check that out. You don't have to like it, you don't have to subscribe, at least check it out. I put a lot of effort into that video. But yeah, I hope you like this one as well. I am so tired. So unbelievably tired. So, without further ado, on to the video. Oh. Okay. We have a heavy one today, folks. Let me move this back. Oh, so it's in the light. Dell Precision 690. I have a very strong love-hate relationships with these things. I used to have one of these. I used to have multiple of these. I really loved them when they worked. Supposedly this one does. The listing was not super helpful. It had one picture of the front of the machine and one picture of the back. That's it. They said that the side panel was bent and wouldn't stay on. Looks fine to me. But we'll get to that because it's not this side panel that's bent. And if you know anything about these machines, this is the only side panel that comes off. We'll get to that. So a little bit about these machines. These are dual socket LGA 771 machines. So we're talking early Core 2 era Xeons, as well as a little bit of the later NetBurst stuff. Right now, I believe it has a Xeon X 5130, I believe, which is a quad-core chip. Not bad, but if I recall, pretty low clock speed. I think I have a couple of replacements for that. I have peeked inside this machine, and I am pretty disappointed. The seller did not... This is pretty dirty too. The seller did not list everything that was wrong with the machine. So, I guess let's go ahead and get into it. Yeah, that comes off just fine. No issues there. So, as you can see, dual socket. Now this socket has damage to the pins. So someone's been in here and dicked around. That cooler is not stock. That is an aftermarket cooler. One of the really cheap Chinese ones that isn't even full height. So again, someone's been in this before. Someone's cobbled this together. This should not be routed here, nor should it be separated. There's supposed to be a riser right here that blows down at the RAM, because this is FB DDR2. Those are hot. They bake, and they die fast. Additionally, there should be a plastic shroud here, which helps duct air from this gigantic fan through the CPU coolers. That's gone too. Three of the hard drive trays gone. The two hard drive trays that would have gone on top of the RAM cooler also gone. It's just, I don't exactly know what kind of life this thing had, but it was rough. Now this is what was this? It was AMD, or rather ATI at this point. It's got a DMS 59 connector, which means we're going to ditch this almost immediately. I do have a DMS 59 cable for this, but this is a pretty trash tier card. I think it was a Radeon 1300 XT. Pretty trash. It does work. I have tested this machine, mostly because I was unhappy. Oh my god, this thing is pretty dirty. Yeah. So it's got two optical drives right now. One of them, well, no, both of them are IDE, which does work for me. At the very least, I get a free IDE DVD-ROM drive. Those are nice to have. 2 gigs of RAM, and the person who had this had Ubuntu installed. You can run modern Linux on 2 gigs of RAM, but I wouldn't. So I'm not really sure what to do with this machine. I'd like to get it fixed. I'd like to fix this socket, get another cooler, get the proper mechanism for the RAM cooling. That would be very nice. But for now, we're not going to be able to do that. So the thing is, it's missing a lot of stuff. And if you know anything about this type of workstation, it will complain if it doesn't have those things connected. So the good news is, I am a hoarder, which means, where did I put it? I have a single Dell proprietary fan. Connecting this in will let me blow some air at the RAM and should shut the machine up. I also, whoa, it's kind of heavy, have a box of DDR2 FB DIMMs. Now, this machine, I believe, could take up to 32 gigabytes of RAM, which not too shabby for like 2005, 2006. Genuinely not too shabby. But again, that CPU, we've only got the one. We only have the one cooler, and they are indeed proprietary. I do not have another cooler for this. I've got plenty of CPUs. Got piles of them. So, at this point, I suppose I should show you the damage. Get this stuff moved back out of the way, because I am too lazy to do a cut. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for the absolute idiocy of whoever owned this before? I hope so. Oh, it's not any lighter. Ta-da! This is epoxied on. Somebody bent the frame of this thing in several places with a screwdriver to pop this panel off. Why? I don't know. You can't access anything back here. There's no reason to take this panel off. And again, you're not supposed to be able to. It's glued on. Good news, I do still have the panel in its destroyed state. So, it does look like this machine got wet at one point. I don't think that's related to why they took the panel off. Oh boy. So, you know, good stuff. Good quality stuff. But first things first, I refuse to use this graphics card. Ugh. That thing is awful. And I hate DMS 59, so let's just go ahead and pop this out. I don't think there's a retaining clip on the back. There was. So, expansion, what have we got? We have a single full-length PCIe X16, 2 X8s, one single PCI, 2 PCI X slots, and looks like there's a hidden X8 PCIe at the top. So, I love these machines, but I hate these machines. Let's get a graphics card installed. So this is what was in there. Pretty slow. I mean, you got dual monitors out of it, and that was kind of it. The other option would have been a NVIDIA card, usually an NVS 280. This is an NVS 295. The only major difference is it ditches the DMS 59 for 2 display ports. That's what would have come in there, kind of as a basic option. They produced this for quite some time, so if you wanted to upgrade later, you could go for a ATI 2400 Pro. Later, you could go for an NVIDIA Quadro. This is, I believe, FX 3800? Yeah. I think at the end of this PC's life cycle, you could get one of those. I'm going to try and put an HT 5770 in there, simply because we have a PCIe 6-pin, so we can power a reasonable graphics card. Additionally, guess what I found? This came from some other like 1U server, but I think that this hole spacing is the same. So if I can fix that socket with like a needle or something, we might be able to get 2 CPUs working today. Now, obviously this is not going to work in the way that it's meant to. There's no shroud for it. The original one should be much taller. But if we can just like glue a fan to this, we'll be golden. But for just right now, just for now, we're going to put this in there. I think it works. The only card here that I don't think works is this one, but we're going to try it anyway. So we're just going to pop this in so we can get regular, DVI and VGA outputs and test this system out as it currently sits. I will be adding a Wi-Fi card to allow us to test the internet. But yeah, let's see what she's got. Let's toss this in real quick. Done. VGA secured and connected. Done. Power cable. Oh, get one that's long enough. Oh, that's right. This uses a different power cable. So this PC has a semi-proprietary power supply. I believe the pinout is different from standard ATX, and the power supply uses this, which I believe is either a C19 or C20 connector. Let's go ahead, plug that in. So this is going to be a little loud, because without the RAM fan... Oh, yeah, this card's dead. Well, I call mulligan. Let's try a different card. Okay, I've got the NVS 295 installed now. See what we get. Pretty sure this one works just fine. So it's going to complain about not seeing the memory fan. there's just like disgusting stuff. Really should clean this, but I just don't feel like it right now. And yeah, I can see a bunch of bent pins in that other socket. We'll zoom in on that in a minute. Yep, terminal solution compromised. Memory fan failure. Ooh, battery voltage is low. Okay. So what we're gonna do is a couple of things. First, I'm gonna try plugging in that fan. Let's see. I think there should be a clip. Yep. And we're just gonna rest it on top of this for now. And the second thing is there should be a push pin somewhere. There it is, right here. Can you see that? No, you can't. That's how it knows if the cover is on or off. So I'm just going to hold that down while the system posts. And let's see. I know it's still going to complain about the battery, but we can replace that. I really hope that this takes care of the memory fan issue. And yes, they take this long to post every time. Or rather, this long to boot. There's a spider web in there. I don't like that. Okay. It's probably going to complain about, yep, previous fan failure. Okay, F1 to continue. Once we start to boot, I can take my finger off of that and I believe it won't care anymore. If it does care, then we can put the well, that's interesting. I'm going to take my hand off this. And if it starts to ramp up the fans, we can just go ahead and throw the side panel on. Well, that's modern Ubuntu, at least it appears to be. I decided against the Wi-Fi card. I just plugged in the Ethernet. It's easier, more reliable. The last time that I tried this card, I'm pretty sure that it just straight up prevented the system from posting. We're going to try it again here in a minute. I don't remember what system I tried this on last. I don't see any missing components or obvious physical damage to the card. Just a couple of bumps and scrapes to the cover. And yes, just in case you're curious, I am just talking to take up time because this posts slow. A couple more gigs of RAM might help that, but realistically it's just some ancient hard drive. So, I believe that it sees the network. Open up. Wow, that's really laggy. Moving the mouse is just jittery. So, not a great experience, especially waiting for Firefox to open. My goodness. Could it take any longer? Oh. This hard drive doesn't sound very happy. I paid too much for this. Ah. I knew it was going to be bad, and I still paid too much for it. Try and close that other tab. Okay. Let's just... Oh man, this is so slow. We're going to try YouTube. Oh no. Let's attempt to multitask, shall we? Let's open up terminal. Unless it has frozen. It might have just frozen. Oh god. I can't move the mouse anymore. Oh. You know, I think that this is all we need to see. I'm gonna force power down. Yeah, I think that's all we need to see. Let's look at some upgrade possibilities, shall we? First, let's see what I've got for CPUs. Now, of course, I've mixed my 771 and 775 CPUs. X5260. Core 2 Duo. A 5160. Pentium D. 5345. Okay. Now, we don't want to go too new because I don't... E5450. Okay. I think that's a... Well, that's a Xeon. I don't think we can use the 5400 series in this. If I recall, these systems were super picky on CPU. So if I can, 5130, that's probably a matching CPU depending on the S spec. If I can, we're going to stick with the 5100 series. $51.40. X3220. Not familiar with that one. Another 5140. These are 2.3 gigahertz. They are different S specs. I cannot use these together. Wait, nope, that's the 5130. Did I grab the wrong one? I did. SLAGB, SLAGB. Okay, I can use these two together. And instead of digging through the rest, I think we're just gonna say, yep, those are good options. Put the rest away. So let's see what we've got. 2 gigs, 1 gig. We're gonna ignore the 1 gig sticks. 2 gigs, 1 gig, ignore. 1 gig, 1. I know I've got some 4 gig sticks somewhere. 2 gig. 1, 2, 4 gig. There's 1. Another 4 gig. Another 4 gig. So we have 3 4 gig sticks. 1 gig. Oh, goodbye. 2 gig. Another 4 gig. Okay. So we're going to just pause there because I'm pretty sure that with only 1 CPU in there, it will only work with the first 4 slots of RAM. However, saying that out loud makes me question that. So actually, we will continue. 1 gig. 1, 2, 2. Set this off to the side. We'll open that in a moment. 1, 2, 2, 2, to, where are the 4 gig? 2, 4, 4, 4. That's just for shits and giggles. So 1 gig, 2 gig, 1 gig. And for these, four, 4, nice, 4, 4. These are all 4 gig sticks. Okay, so it looks like I've got enough 4 gig sticks to populate the whole thing twice over, which is good because I don't know how many of these work. I'm going to take all the 4 gig sticks that I found. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, twice over. Put them in there. Now, I'm going to just set that off to the side. Get these out of here. Wow, this is, yeah, it's kind of hot. Barely did anything. I hate FB DIMMs. Okay, so what speeds are we looking at? It's a little faster than what was in there. This is 444 or 4200. This is 555 or 5300. So let's see. The one thing I want to do is make sure that I can match the speeds. So far, they're all looking like 5300. However, now that I'm thinking about it, I think that we're gonna just stick a bunch of 2 gig sticks in here to make sure that all the slots work. So I'm gonna populate. First, I'll populate 4. Now this is 2 gigs 5300. Same speed as the 4 gig sticks. And if it works with these in 4 slots, then we know that it works with that speed. Then we'll throw more in to see if it works with all the slots when only a single CPU is installed. Then I'll look at fixing that CPU slot or socket. So let me go ahead and get this set back up. Let's see what happens. See if we can get into setup. Should see 8 gigs of RAM. And then we can put some more in and see if it recognizes RAM in all 8 slots. That would be awesome, but I don't think that's how it works. I'm pretty sure you have to have both CPU sockets populated. Okay. Oh. Wait a minute. Wait. This is not the CPU they said was in there. This is not a quad core. This is a dual core with hyperthreading. Well, it sees all 8 gigs. That's nice. 2006, I was right on that. Okay. We're going to populate the rest of the RAM now, but at this point, I'd like to know what CPU we've got. Okay, we're going to stick with the same speed, but I have to go with a different brand now. Okay. Let's see what happens. Well, no beeps yet. That's good. We're posting. Try to get into setup again. Oh boy, this is slow, but you know, that's old PCs for you. You never want to jump straight into the final upgrades, because sure as shit, you're gonna, well, 16 gigs. Okay, we're good on the RAM slots. But no, you never want to jump straight to the end goal, because if you try to do that, it's definitely going to mess you up. Something's not going to work, and then you'll have to work backwards to try and figure out what's going on. So we're going to take this one slow. Let's try 4 gig sticks now. Okay. Slight detour. I just remembered the 5140 is actually a dual core chip. So we're going to pop these back out and go back through them. See if I can grab a few at a time. 5450. I got a couple of those. 5260. A bunch of 5450s, goodness. What are these? Another. This is a 5148. What? What? Another 5450. Set that one aside and look that one up later. All right, what do we got? 5148. SL9RR. SL9RR. I'm going to have to look those up. Those might be an option. As long as they're quad core, that's all I really care about. I have a bunch of those 5450s. I do not think those work here. There's my 5345. Another 5345. SLAEJ for both. Those are something worth looking into. 5160. Another 5130. Okay. These are newer. Yeah, those are newer. On to this one. Let's see. Wow, that is just a destroyed, but I think that's just a Core 2 Duo. Pentium dual core. Wait. Pentium dual core, but not a Pentium D. An E2220. Odd. We're going to just move the non-Xeons over. Pentium 4. Core 2 Duo. Pentium 4. Did I already separate these? Core 2 Quad. Q6600. Okay, I'm glad I have a spare of those. Pentium D. Celeron. Pentium D. Celeron D. I don't know much about the Celeron Ds. Another E5450 Xeon. Celeron. Pentium D. (5345). Pentium 4. Pentium 4. And survey says E5450. I think what I'm going to do off camera before we test the 4 gig stuff is I'm going to research what CPUs supposedly work in this machine. and we'll go from there. I was not recording that entire time. Okay, so what did we do? Well, we found out that I got scammed. This CPU that was in there is a Xeon 5060. That is a NetBurst CPU, 2 cores, 4 threads, garbage, hot garbage. These CPUs are absolutely terrible. Yeah, I was told this was a quad core. So I got scammed on this system. Now there's something very important to note about the Precision 690. Now, this system was released right around the time that quad-core CPUs were existing, becoming a thing. The first revision of this motherboard cannot support a quad-core CPU whatsoever. It will never work. So the first version of the motherboard, you are restricted to the 50XX series and the 51XX series. The 50XX series being NetBurst and the 51XX series being Core 2. Now again, the 51XX, those are all dual core CPUs as far as I'm aware. It would still be a decent upgrade over NetBurst. They're just faster. So even if it had hyperthreading, it's just better to have a Core 2. However, I just threw in a 5345 and it posted, which means this is not the first revision of the motherboard and true quad-core CPUs will work. So although I'm still pretty upset about being scammed, it does have a silver lining. So I'm going to clean the ancient generic silicone thermal paste off of this, and we'll continue with the memory testing to see if it'll accept 4 gig sticks. Before I do that though, let's go ahead and demonstrate the problem with this other CPU socket. So this has been resting here most of the time. It's not actually touching right now, but underneath, right there. Nice good chunk of damage. So I don't know what we're going to do about that. I also don't know if there's any more damage in the rest of the socket. There's very likely, indeed, additional damage. Okay, so I do see another pin right there. And it looks like maybe something right here. That's not something that's easy for me to record. If you go back through my video catalog, you will find me repairing a CPU socket with a needle. I'll see if I can record this one. No promises though. That's not going to happen until we're done with everything else though. That's a nice to have, not a necessary thing. Anyway, on to the memory testing. Oh, and by the way, here's another reason I can tell that this is a Chinese replacement. Notice how there's no screws in there? Here's the screw. Dell always had a captive C-clip at the bottom. They never should be able to come out, and all 4 of these came right out. So this is not the original. It's also very rough metal here. The Dell should be shiny. Yeah, that's not a Dell sticker. Oh yeah, right there, made in China. I think the Dell ones were also made in China, but it will say Dell on the sticker there. I also think that the real Dell ones not only were taller and didn't have these giant things sticking up, but Dell would have been embossed right there, or stamped. So, just a little side note, not super happy. Okay. Let's see. I think these are all the same speed. 5300. DDR2555. Trying to get matched ones, but may not always be so lucky. Close enough. Yeah. Now we know that all 8 slots work with a single CPU, or at the very least, the BIOS detects all the memory, which to me suggests that it will work. So let's hope this works. Getting 32 gigs of RAM working would be absolutely phenomenal. I do not think that we'll be getting that second socket to work, but I will try. I will try. Anyway, let's see if it posts. Well, let's see what she does. And of course, we're going to go right into the setup. Well, that's a good sign. Sorry if I'm quiet on this one, not a whole lot to talk about right here. We just want to know that all 32 gigs are detected. There is a high likelihood that one or more of these sticks are dead, and it will not necessarily tell us until we're in the BIOS. And let's see. Well, we got processor info now, that's nice. 5345. 8 gigs? What? Okay. Well, that's not right. Let's swap some around. Well, 32 gigs. Okay, I think I figured out what's wrong. Where's one of the ones I took out? Where did I put those? Here they are. Okay, so, nope, not that one. Here's one of the ones I took out. It is 4 gigs, but it is 4 rank by 8. So if you'll notice, these are all by 4, but the thing is, the ones that I put in, let me grab one, 2 rank by 8, or 2 rank by 4. So I think that it was the ranking that this machine wasn't liking, which does explain it. But we're working now. Let's see about fixing that CPU socket. I can't find my sewing kit. So we're just gonna see what I can do like this. Reverse my hat, look like a dumbass, but keep my hair out of my eye. If I could move the... Can I? No, that's screwed in. I don't want to stick with that right now. Let's see. There's one. Looks like we have a second one. Do not do this with a nail. This is a stupid idea. Okay. think that other one's just dirt. Let me get my canned air real quick. No, it's not just dirt. Okay, shit. Okay. That's not pretty, but it might work. Let's just see what happens. Grab my CPU. I do want to be extra gentle this time. So now we have to answer the question of if that heatsink fits. And it's got some truly ancient thermal paste on it. I'm not going to remove it right now. Just want to see the holes line up. Not that screwdriver. Let's try this one. We might be in luck. Oh my god, this might work. Obviously, this is not enough to cool it right now. We'll have to glue a fan onto the top of this to make it an active cooler. But just for now, let's see. Okay. Plugged in. If this works, I will be very surprised, but very happy. Well, we didn't break it, otherwise it wouldn't have posted. Oh, this would be such an upgrade from 2 cores, 4 threads, net burst with 2 gigs of RAM, up to 8 cores from the Core 2 era, and 32 gigs of RAM. That would be absolutely phenomenal. But let's see. Processor info. Hey! Oh my god, it worked. Okay, now I want to be clear. Number one, I have to unplug it now, just so that one doesn't overheat. But number two, just because it posts does not mean it is fully functional. If one of those little tiny pins isn't making perfect contact, or isn't making any contact, or is bridging with another one, it could cause instability, not necessarily a complete, fault of the socket. So let's get a fan attached to that, and I'll show you how I do that, because I have done it in the past. It's dumb, but all I need to do is find a source of power. You'll never guess what I found. This came off of a Pentium 4 stock heatsink, and we're just gonna jam it in, as I think we can. Get in there. Yeah. Perfect. That is not going anywhere. But how to power it? Remember I said that these Dells love their proprietary stuff. Well, unfortunately, I've only got this 4-way splitter, so we're going to have some extra, but standard SATA, in this case. You don't have to use the SATA ones. Plug into one of the many excess SATA power that's on this damn thing. Try to find a way to route it. And there we go. Now it's going to go full speed all the time, but do we really care? Let's see how loud it is. Don't care about it booting all the way up. Just want to see how loud that is. Wait for the main system fans to quiet down. I'd like for them to quiet down. There we go. I mean, you can hear it, but I actually can't tell if that's the, yeah, it's that one. Yeah, that's fine. So, graphics upgrades. What do we got? First, let's get this out of here. I'm 90% sure that this is just dead, but we've got to try it. Just to see. Where did my... There it is. And the question is, does it work? Well, it's loud. that'll cover the noise of the Pentium 4 cooler. Every system that I've put this in up to this point has refused to post. Some of them have even refused to power on. And I'm not seeing anything on the screen yet, but the keyboard lit up, which... Huh. Still nothing on the screen though. I heard it post. You know what? Let's just try the DVI. Maybe this is too old to automatically display out over DisplayPort. That is a thing. Let me hold that down. And we're going to go ahead and move the camera just so we can see the screen a little better. Keyboard lit up. I can see that from here. Pretty sure we should see the Dell logo by this point. So I think that this is indeed, as I have always thought, a dead card. So we're going to give it until I hear the beeps. Yep. Disappointing, but not unexpected. So let's move on. If I can even get this thing out of here. Okay. Gonna go ahead and scrap that one. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to remove this other blank. Put in my 5770. I don't know if this one works. I love these cards. Some of my favorite. That's right, we're dealing with a BTX board. So, is this? No, this is just reverse mounted ATX, isn't it? Yeah. No, this is reverse mounted ATX, I'm confused. Dell did some weird stuff with their desktop boards with BTX. Such a travesty. There we go. And where's the power cable? Hold that down. See what we get. You know, it would help if I plugged it in. Okay, take two. I see lights on the keyboard. Do you think my wife would kill me if I just... I don't see any display out. Is this even plugged in? Yeah. Okay. What are my options now? Well, let's get this out of here clearly. It's not going to be our savior. Give me a moment to get some food, but also ponder things. I'll find a card for this. I'll be right back. Let's try this RX 460. I'm going to need my DisplayPort adapter again, but that's fine. Where's my power cable? There it is. Okay. See what she's got. That fan's already way quieter than any of the other ones I've put in so far. Hey, okay, we're good. So before we continue, let me find a way to get this RAM fan situated. Because right now, if I stand the case up, this is just going to flop down. I'm not entirely sure. That's pretty hot too. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to secure it. Yeah. Maybe if I just stand it up really carefully. Yeah. We're going to go ahead and put a rain check on figuring out how to mount that fan, at least for the moment. We're going to boot back into Ubuntu. We're pushing 11 o'clock p.m. here. My wife should be home any moment. And she's going to want her Ethernet back. So we're going to boot into Ubuntu and see how things go. I wonder if this will boot faster with the faster CPUs. That, I don't know. But my goodness, what an upgrade. From NetBurst 2-core 4-thread up to 8 true cores from the Core 2 era. From system battery voltage. I need to fix that, but we're going to ignore it for now. From 2 gigs of RAM up to 32. Even that, we've also got a speed boost from DDR2 444 up to 555. So, yeah, very interesting. I mean, hell, we've even got the RX 460 now. We're going to need to, I think, get some drivers installed for this, but I think a basic test would be opening Firefox. Because clearly last time it was not having it. Oh yeah, that's so much faster. Wait. I spoke too soon. I thought that flash was getting to the desktop already. It might already be reconfiguring itself for the new graphics card. I haven't done a lot of hardware changes inside Linux, And this is pretty damn huge. We're going from, an X, what was it, 1300? All the way up, or 1300 XT, all the way up to an RX 460. That's like damn near 20 years in between those two cards. When did the X13 come out? Like 2003, 2004? I might be wrong on that. It's a very long time, to say the least. What do we got? What's going on? Okay, we're in the desktop. It already feels better. We're going to give it a second to load anything it needs to load. And just open Firefox. Now this will still be at least a little slow because we are loading from a hard drive. A hard drive that very might well be the original hard drive to this system from 2006. So, yeah. We'll figure that out in a minute here. System hasn't frozen this time. That's already a benefit. Looks like we have Blender installed. Yep. That's odd. Might have to do some rendering tests. Hey! It remembers we were on YouTube. Alright. Now we haven't installed any drivers for the RX 460 yet, so we're going to use whatever default drivers Ubuntu comes with. And yes, the system is getting louder. Wow, this is so much better. Look, it's me. Look, it's the Halloween special that none of you watched. I put so much effort into the Halloween special / 1,000 subscribers, by the way. And no one watched it. This has like 200 views. What are we doing for 720p? Whoa! Why is it so loud? Let's try 1080p. Yeah, that's fine. Loud as balls, but fine. I worked so hard on this. Oh, man. Can't believe no one watched it. 200 views. Oh. It's still doing things in the background. Okay. Hello, computer. Well, wakey wakey, I guess. Wow. Okay. They didn't give me a password. Let's try Dell. Password? Oh dear. Okay, I will not actually be able to do anything with the system because they didn't give me the password. Let's just throw Windows 10 on here. I like Linux. I like Ubuntu, but I'd have to reinstall from scratch. And if I'm going to do that, I might as well do an operating system that I can compare to some of my newer systems. The good news is with Ryzen's release, where they have the little chiplets, Windows used to detect those chiplets as multiple separate CPUs, which means that a lot of modern games and software will scale across multiple sockets. It used to be that it just wouldn't do that. It would use all of the first CPU and then wouldn't touch the second. So let me get Windows 10 installed. We will be right back. I knew it was too good to be true. That's due to the socket. I'm going to just power cycle it and see what happens. Well, this is weird. I rebooted it. I turned it off, put a new BIOS battery in, and powered it back on. Tried to get into setup, and it said can't enter setup. Mode is 103. And then it booted into Windows. So, yeah. We're gonna let it cook. I genuinely think that there is still a problem with that second socket. I mean, I fixed it with a nail, for God's sake. I need a needle, and I need a closer look at the socket. I need to not be filming the damn thing. But we're just gonna see what happens. Yeah. I'm sure this will go great with no problems at all. Anyone see a problem with that? No? How about this? Full tension. I think that these little legs are a little bit too long. So what do we do about that? We could take that out, or we could shave these down. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try shaving these a little bit. Well, if I can find my file, that is. If not, I'll just take that out. Man. Let me see what I can do. I was able to pop them off with a pair of vice grips, but now I have to be very careful how I tighten it down. Wish me luck. Okay, well, Windows 10 is installed. I've got all my software installed and updated. We are ready to go. I'm also going to attempt to use OBS to record on this, but we'll see. I've got a few games that probably shouldn't run on this, and a few games that definitely will. But so far, just kind of using this thing, it's been pretty good. No complaints. It feels like a normal PC despite being damn near 20 years old. I lost my super glue that I used literally 2 days ago. So we're going to use this. These are sticky foam. Well, I don't even know what the heck to really call these other than little tiny foam strips. I usually use these to attach D&D miniatures to sticks for painting them, but they'll work just fine for this. This is only temporary. Once I find my glue, this will get attached properly. So, but yeah, we've got a nice healthy mix of games, and we shall see how this machine actually performs in the modern day. And for the record, the only reason I'm putting this side panel on is to quiet this machine down. It's fast approaching 3 o'clock, and my wife is already asleep, and I don't want a jet engine to wake her up. So, fellas, I'm sure you understand. She is one room over. There's one wall separating us. The last thing I want to do is to have the door behind me open, only for her to be standing there staring at me angrily. So, alright, you little bastard, you're getting one too then. Just to keep this stupid cable in. There. The 4 corners should be enough. Where's that panel? Yes. This never should have been taken off. Genuinely do not know why they did. I don't know where I put my glue. I might have to buy more. Good enough. Anyway, I guess let's get this set up. You know, I think this sticky foam stuff could, oops, I dropped it. That's never coming out of there. I think that this could help with our fan as well, just to at least temporarily keep it secured. So I'm just going to put 2 on here and literally stick it to the top of the ram, and maybe, just maybe, this will hold it in place. I'm going to hop on eBay and search for a replacement cooler, maybe find the plastic shroud that should have been here, and the memory cooler, but I'm probably going to be spending close to $100 for those, and it is not worth it. So let's orient it like this. Well, it's on there. So, yeah. Benchmarks. Let's do benchmarks. Let's get to the action. Well, here's the setup. Yeah. But you're kidding me. You're joking. Did it locked up? What the heck? Oh no. What is going on? Everything looks fine to me. Huh. That's new. Okay. What? Oh, god damn it. Okay. All I did was reseat the memory. I must have jostled something when I attached the fan, so I think what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to clean off part of the bottom of the case. I tried to blow it off with canned air, but that stuff is really on there. So, and of course, as usual, I don't know where my cleaning rag is, so we're just going to have to use this convenient towel that was sitting by the door. Don't tell my wife. Clean some of this off. Nice clean but ugh. I'll just do some laundry, and she'll never know that I used her bath towel to clean the PC. It's fine. Where are those sticky pads? There they are. I'm just going to apply a couple to the bottom of the fan, and putting it right there should be good. This is such a janky PC. But that's okay. That's what we do here. I hope you're entertained. Because I'm tired. I want to go to bed. I don't want to be half gluing a fan to the bottom of a Dell PC case from 2006. I don't know. The other option would be to delay the video by a couple weeks and buy the correct memory cooling, but again, that stuff is so expensive for no reason too. So, stick it on, and we're good. So, collect these little strips here, put them in the trash bag, and this time I'm going to put the side panel on. Get on there. You're kidding me. This thing is just the worst. It's also really heavy. Oh. Gonna gently and we good? Okay. I'll see you when we're on the desktop. Okay, we are in Windows. We're still kind of firing up. Remember, we are on a hard drive, so we have to wait. I guarantee you if I open up Task Manager right now, we're going to find 100% disk usage. Probably for a good, like, minute and a half. Performance. Oh yeah, 100%. But all 8 of our cores are here. We're just going to let Windows do its thing. In fact, I'm going to make sure that we don't have like updates going on in the background. I think we're good. I think I got all that out of the way. Yes. Okay. So we're going to try OBS. We're going to try it. But again, not only are we playing games from a hard drive, but this will have us recording to a hard drive while doing the CPU encoding. So this is asking a lot. So yeah, if these games run at all while OBS is recording, I'll be not only very surprised, but very pleasantly surprised. So you know what? Let's give it a shot. Oh, before that, let's open hardware monitor. I wanted to point out one thing. We had that incident earlier where the second CPU heatsink was not making contact with the CPU. I am genuinely surprised we didn't cook that CPU to death, and that would have sucked because I don't have any replacements. But right now, we're looking on both. And that's partially due to the lack of a shroud, and partially due to Dell's, let's just say, generous heat. Dell's okay with your CPUs idling at 50, 65 degrees. Yeah, these fans don't ramp up until they're like 80 plus. But anyway, on to the games. Well, I've got disappointing news. It seems that the Radeon RX 460 that I just purchased doesn't work. Now, I have been noticing, now that I've been trying to troubleshoot this, that, oh, go away, Steam. While we're booting, it says that it has trouble allocating the BAR memory for PCI devices. I suspect that's related to this. I'm going to attempt one thing before I just say that I've been scammed on this card. It's possible that this was mined on, and they might have a custom BIOS on it. So, let's try this real quick. Now, of course, there's someone with a very loud stereo outside, and it's about 4:45 in the morning, so that's great. Let's see. I for install. I've only ever flashed a AMD card once, and that was an RX 580, I believe I purchased, that someone had a custom BIOS on, and it did pretty similar stuff, so let's try this real quick. Folder not found. What? Let's try it. Reading the guide, I guess. Okay. This is a little more involved than I thought. I'll be right back. Well, I didn't get the error this time. Took me a hot minute to remember how to get it working. The BIOS flashing utility, that is. I would very much like to see that code 43 go away. Also, when this machine started up just now, the fan of the graphics card sounded quite a bit different, so maybe the BIOS flash worked. That would be very, very nice. And this is just a standard OEM RX 460. Doesn't even have a plastic shroud over it, so I just downloaded the default AMD one. Should be good enough, and I believe this is the 2 gig version of the card, so yeah. All in, I'm still mad about being scammed on this PC, apparently multiple ways over now, but I will say that if this had an SSD, this would not be a bad system to use. Yeah, let's pop open Device Manager real quick. Please do not have a code 43. I just want to start playing games. Go away, Steam. I'm busy. Having all this stuff start up really, really takes a long time on hard drives. But 'tis the nature of modern operating systems. I'll just leave that be for this. What are we gonna get? Hard drive, don't fail us now. Oh, that's another thing. Every single time I power this thing off properly. Oh no, we're gonna get a code 43. Properties. Code 43. Okay. She's dead, Jim. We need a different graphics card. Which means this video is not over yet. God damn it. I'll be back. This video is getting a little bit longer than I wanted it to, so this is a 2GB GTX 960. Nothing special, requires a 6-pin, but we have a 6-pin. So I'm going to swap the graphics cards real quick, uninstall the Radeon drivers, uninstall the VBIOS flashing driver, get the NVIDIA drivers installed, and then we'll try to get some games. It's 5 o'clock. I really should go to bed, but I want this done. And I just realized my camera decided to stop focusing. Hello? Great. So it has come to this. I'm not terribly happy. It's approaching 6 a.m. and I'm very tired. The PC was doing some weird things where occasionally it would reboot. Normally it would be commanded to reboot, like after driver installation or something like that. And sometimes it wouldn't see the hard drive. But after power cycle, it would. So I figured I'd just take care of that later. And then it got worse to where I'd have to unplug the whole machine and hold the power button to kind of de-energize things before it would see the hard drive again. And now the onboard SATA doesn't work at all. Full stop. So I had a little 2-port Rocket Raid card, put that in, and unfortunately it's not a bootable thing, so great. Then I had an Intel G401 that I threw in here. It's super old. It's PCI X. Thank goodness this has PCI X slots. And now I'm just trying to see it sees it. I've already been into it. I've created the logical volume, hoping to retain the previous data because I would hate to have to do all that again. I just boot sequence. Question is, how do I even boot from that, you know? Jeez. What do I do? Just get this now. Think. Let's try F12 and see if I can select the card as a boot option. At least I think it's F12 on this. Yes. So here's the Intel RAID card. Got my logical drive set up. But I can't boot from it. at this point, what do I do? I mean, do I do I use a SATA to IDE adapter and then use the onboard IDE? That seems to still work. But, I mean, goddamn. I don't know what to do about this. I am dying though. I'm gonna try like one or two more things and then call it. I'm losing it. It sees it again. What the heck? Okay. I don't know. We're gonna try to get into the SAS controller. Maybe maybe deleting and remaking the RAID 0 will fix this somehow. Because I guarantee you what's going on right now is, although the drive is there and connected to the SAS controller, it doesn't know that it should be booting from it. RAID properties. Yeah, I see it. So this huh. What is going on? Yeah, I don't know what to do about this. It feels like the solution's right there, you know? I'm going to remove this RAID controller. Obviously, I can't boot from it. I'm not even using it now. Nothing's connected to it. And all it does is slow down the boot time. So... How was it working before? Pretty sure it showed a logical volume before. I'll have to go back through and selected boot device not available. Okay. Huh. I love the capabilities of these machines. But I hate working on them. Clearly something is wrong with this PC. It started doing the can't find device randomly, so I mean, just don't get it. Seize the drive. No boot device available. AHCI BIOS not installed. Okay. Let's try manually booting from it again. I gotta get this stupid card out of here. Get to the damn boot menu. Okay, so it still sees it. I'm gonna have to do all my work all over again. Hours down the drain. Okay, I'm gonna go get some sleep. You will see me in just a moment, but for me, this is pain. I'm out. The Intel RAID card wiped the drive. So it was useless to try and pull it back into the system anyway. Good news is I haven't gone to sleep yet, so I can just let this chug away, but oh my god. Why? Well, I went to bed at about 7:30, and it's now 12:30. I'm going to get updates installed. I'm going to get Steam installed, several games installed. And then we can finally finish this video. If you've made it this far, why? Why are you still watching? But no, in all seriousness, thank you very much. This has been a nightmare. And yeah, still not sure why the drive was mysteriously wiped, but things are working for now, so we're just gonna keep going. Well, we are finally at least capable of playing games. The computer is finally working, and honestly, it's doing pretty good so far. The real test, however, is going to be, of course, recording footage while playing. And since we're running off of a single spinning rust hard drive, I'm not super convinced that it's going to go well. But you know what? That's just an even better test. So let's see how this very nearly 20-year-old computer handles modern video games under Windows 10 while recording.
Attention. Prepare for battle-mech departure. Warning. Hangar doors opening. Stand clear.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Well, pleasantly surprised, honestly. Even with OBS recording, we're still getting some pretty decent frame rates. So, would I recommend picking up one of these machines and turning it into your main PC? Not really, unless you get a really good deal on it. Most people don't have, two quad-core CPUs for this just lying around. And again, there is the issue with which motherboard revision you have. The first motherboard revision does not support quad-core CPUs. And even then, the FB DIMMs in here, they are well known for failing very, very quickly. So, it's a toss-up. Genuinely happy with the performance though, and with an SSD, I think we would have solved the one performance issue that we were having, and that was when anything was loading in any of the games, it would hitch pretty bad. It would stutter until the thing was loaded in, then it was fine, buttery smooth. So, yeah, sorry for the length of this video, but this was pain. As cringy as it is, I am genuinely going to ask you, if you liked this video, please leave a like. Subscribe if you want to see more suffering like this. And let me know what I should do with this PC down in the comments. I have fought tooth and nail to get this thing working as it is. And in theory, these things are pretty reliable. I just, not sure what happened the first time. Hopefully that was, I don't know. Anyway, thank you very much to my patron members for helping me fund my need for canned air. And, yeah, if you want to see some behind the scenes and exclusive videos, you can find them over on my Patreon. Otherwise, I'm gonna go take a nap. Goodbye.